Hey folks, editing Mike here. This is Inkdependence, but I am not doing this video. This video is the spoiler cast for the 2023 Diamine Inkvent Calendar. My lovely wife Audrey, who you'll know as the Nib Doctor on Instagram, doesn't mind being spoiled, and I don't like being spoiled that much, so she is going to give you a spoiler view of all the inks in this calendar. There are 25 of them, so stay tuned and, go and say hi to the lovely folks who gave us this Inkvent calendar for review to show y'all anyway, and share with you this holiday season over at Truphae. You can find a link down in the description. So thank you very much, Truphae, for sending this out for us. And look for a bunch of my videos in December. I'll be making daily videos about the Inkvent color of the day for each day in December leading up to Christmas, the 25th of December. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get over to Audrey and take it away, Aud. See you later.
Do you love ads? I love ads. You know what else I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence keeps this blog mostly ad-free unless I'm doing the video, then they're ads. Sorry about that. Hello and welcome to this year's spoilers for the 2023 Diamine Inkvent Calendar. Yay! So before we get started, this is a spoiler video. I will be going through all 25 days of this calendar. So if you do not want to be spoiled, please click out right now or leave it going. Just don't watch, don't listen to it. Just, let the whole thing play. Give me a view. I appreciate that. So this year's Inkvent is going to be this purple one, of course, as you can see here. There are 25 in total. There are going to be standard inks, which are ones that don't have any inclusions, such as sheen, shimmer, chameleons, etc. There'll be shimmer only. Scented ones, which I know are very polarizing, and I'll try and describe those a little bit more when we get to it. And chameleon, which was last year the first time debuting them. So they're continuing that. And a new one this year, which is called Star Bright. So hopefully, I hope you're excited, because when I saw this, I was like, oh, what do you think Star Bright will look like? Okay, these will be $115 if you're in the United States. And that's pretty much any place that you'll get this is generally the $115 price point. But if you are international, the prices pretty much vary widely, especially if you're in Europe, the prices can be lower. So take a look at different places to see if you can get it cheaper. But I do want to thank this year's not really sponsor, but they gave this for free to Mike to do the unboxings. And this is from Truphae. Hopefully we'll be putting a link here. We'll definitely have it in the description box. So definitely take a look at them, because they were very, very kind to send this out to us. These bottles, and each one of these are going to be 12 milliliters, which is a pretty hefty size. It's obviously a lot more than a regular sample vial. And then, as you can see, I always appreciate when at the very end you have something that's exciting. You want the 25 days and the 25th day to be the biggest thing and the most exciting thing. And luckily, they give us a full 30 ml or 1 ounce bottle for day 25. I think that's most of the information I have so far. So how about we go ahead and get started and see what we got here. Day number 1, we have Fortune's Gold, which is a chameleon. And you can already see the shimmer floating around here. So look at all that. Looks like we see a lot of gold in here. And the color itself looks like this. It is definitely a bright gold color with gold chameleon. It looks like there's a little bit of a greenness in the shimmer as well. And I thought it was going to be too light. When it first goes down, it is very light, but as it dried, it definitely became more readable. So I believe that this one will be okay and readable once you actually get this on the page. Okay, day number 2, we have Cashmere Rose, which is a standard. Again, this is going to have any shimmer or anything in it. And we got Cashmere Rose here, day 2. This is definitely a rosy color. It's almost on the verge of like a burgundy or a maroon almost. So you can see a lot of pink, a lot of reds in it. Just a tiny bit of shading around the edges, but no real sheen that I notice here. But a nice sort of dusty color. Day number 3, we have Early Dusk, which is another standard. You can see it's going to be a nice blue. The one thing I wish they had was this not so shiny, because it's so hard to show in the photography, I tell you. Up here is Early Dusk. It's a nice sort of standard blue, a tiny bit on the dusty side, a medium, not too dark, not too light, but nothing too fancy about this one. It is nice. Day 4, we have Masquerade, which is a shimmer. Let's see what color shimmer we got here. Looks like sort of a bronzy gold color, it looks like it's going to be. So here we go. This is an interesting color. It definitely sort of has that sort of bronzy color to it. And the base color is like it's a very dusty mauve is what I would sort of describe it as. And it does have a little bit of shading here. So yeah, I think this is a really interesting color. And I don't know if Mike has too many that look just like this, but there is a lot of shimmer here, as you can see. And you might notice this, but early on, there really aren't that many. There's not a real good holiday theme so far. Like, I don't know what Early Dusk or Masquerade or Cashmere Rose has to do with the holidays, which I know some people won't mind because, you know, they don't really care. This doesn't have to necessarily be a holiday theme, but this year it seems especially not sort of holiday themed. There's a few, you'll see a few throughout here, but really it's not as much as previous years, I would say. Continuing on, we have Nightfall. I feel like when you get names like this, it's going to be a chameleon or a shimmer. And yeah, this is a chameleon here. Let's see the shimmer. Ooh, that's a nice green. Might have a little bit of blue in here maybe. So we'll see. And here's the color. Very interesting. You can see some of the sheen in here. There is a little bit of a red sheen. You can see that it looks like gold and green chameleon shimmer, but it's a very deep sort of navy blue here, it looks like. And don't mind this. This was just me using the letter opener. This didn't smear or anything like that. Anything that you see that's problematic, it was probably me who did that. But yeah, this one's really interesting. I like that. Day number 6, we have Bucks Fizz. What is that? I forgot to Google it, but if you know in the comments what Bucks Fizz is, I'd appreciate it. And this one is also chameleon. Interesting. See lots of, looks like maybe some copper and some gold shimmer in the chameleon shimmer. And we end up getting a very bright sort of, I don't know, a papaya sort of orange color, which is really pretty. This seems to be pretty readable as well. I thought maybe it would be a little bit too light, but yeah, that's a really nice sort of medium orange with some like, it looks like just gold shimmer here. Day 7, week down. It's a nice sort of pink color, looks like it's going to be. And this is scented. Now, let me go ahead. I have not smelled this since I did the swatches. So I haven't smelled anything recently. So it's sort of, it doesn't smell too strongly, at least not in the bottle. I do smell it. It is a sweet smell, maybe a tiny bit of a bubble gum, a tiny bit of fruit. It's not like cotton candy or too sweet like that. It smells more like a bubble gum one. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and smell it since it's dried and see if I can still smell it after it's been sitting for a day. I do smell a tiny bit, but it's not too strong, at least to my nose. I know a lot of people are sensitive to smells, and if you are, you know, this may even be too much for you. But again, you can always just give that away to somebody if that doesn't work for you. But this one doesn't bother me at all. It's pretty subtle, and it just sort of smells sweet. But this is a nice color. It seems like the ones that were scented a little, they came off and stuck to the letter opener really easily, and it seemed pretty wet when I was writing it. So I don't know if that has to do with any of the scent that's added, or if it's just something I noticed that is residual to the two that are scented. I don't know. We'll have to see. But this is a nice sort of a cool toned pink. Speaking of ones that I'm like, I don't even know what jacaranda. I actually had to look up what jacaranda is, and it's actually a subtropical tree that's found often in South America. I did not see what that had to do with the holidays, but it is sort of this nice, beautiful purple, or this tree that has purple blooms on it. So, and this one is a standard. And this is what it looks like. So yeah, this is basically what the flowers on the tree look like. Very similar. And you can see this is one of those that's sort of that multi-chrome. You can definitely see some of the pink tones in the center here. So I'll be interested to see how this looks on different types of paper. But it's a nice blue, cornflower blue with lots of pink undertones. Maybe a little bit on the periwinkle side as well. But yeah, super pretty color. I like that. Day 9, we have Moonbeam, and this one is a chameleon, and it looks like it's going to be like silver and gold potentially. Maybe looks like there's some green in there as well. We'll have to see. Oh, this is super cool. It's sort of like a murky green base. That's what it sort of looks like to me. A little bit gray, a little bit green. But it definitely has some blue. Let me see if I can show it any better. It's sort of hard to see and not in person, but it's blue and it has some green and silver. It looks like some particles in there, but it has really nice shading, as you can see as well. So yeah, it's a really interesting color combination. I really like that. Day 10, we have Velvet Emerald, which is going to be your standard color. I love a good emerald, so let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, I remember this one. This one is very deep. It does have a little bit of the red sheen around the edges, but it's not a super sheen or anything like that. You're going to see it a little bit. I see it in the D and a few of the really heavy little areas that lay down a lot of ink. You can see a little bit of the sheen, but not much. But this is a really deep, dark emerald green, but it has a little bit of a tealy feel to it. But yeah, I think this is very nice and saturated. Day 11, we have Glacier, which is our Star Bright. This is the new one for this year. So what do you think it's going to be like? Oh, bam. It sears the eye. This thing is so shimmery. This is just chock full of this really bright silver shimmer. It's hard to see it almost because it just... Let me shake this up here and show you what it looks like when it's shaken up. Yeah, you can really see the particles floating here. They seem... I don't know if they're going to be bigger. It's hard to tell. So I really would like to see how this is going to be in a pen. But of course, I just did these swatches. I've not done that yet, but... we'll have to see when Mike fills these up in December. And this is what it looks like. This is the color, and here's the shimmer. Look at that. It is just chock full of this large shimmer that's very bright. And look at the writing. It's almost hard to read. You sort of have to go this way to read it because there's so much shimmer. But this is Glacier and day 11. But yeah, you know what this sort of reminds me of? When I saw it drying, this sort of reminds me a little bit of the Jelly Roll Metallics. If you have any of those, it looks very similar to that, which I have not seen anything in fountain pens that can go through a feed that actually have this amount of shimmer and have this sort of effect to it. So I'm very curious and stay tuned for seeing what this is going to be like in a pen. Day 12. We have Bah Humbug. This is one that is sort of holiday inspired. Everyone knows Bah Humbug. And this is a chameleon. It's going to be looks like red shimmer. The chameleon pigment, maybe a little bit of gold. We'll have to see here. Oh, I stand corrected. This is a nice purple. Nice purple. And also it looks a little bit coppery on the side, which is hard to show in person, but from a side angle, this looks coppery and it's purple from head on. And it does look like there's a bit of sheen a little bit in here as well. It's not called a sheen or anything, but this is definitely, it's like a raisiny color. So yeah, it looks like the color of a raisin, a deep reddish brown color. So yeah, that's a really interesting combination there. Up next, we have Weeping Willow, which I love weeping willow trees. I hope you do too. We don't have any near us, unfortunately, but you do generally have to have a lot of water. This is a standard color, so not going to be any shimmer or anything in it. Look at this color. This is a weird color. This is definitely what I would say is a taupe, but isn't every color sort of a different shade of taupe? But yeah, you can definitely see the pink undertones in here. This is another one of those sort of multi-chrome ones that are multi-dimensional ones, going to sort of depend on the paper. So I do want to see what this looks like on different paper. You see lots of green here. And then the pink, yeah, this is just a really interesting one. And up here, there's a bit more of a beige. So yeah, I don't even know what you say besides this is a taupe. And I'm very curious to see what this looks like in a pen, because I think the writing is really interesting as well, the different shades. Day 14, we have Rainbow's End, which is going to be a chameleon. Looks like some purple pink shimmer in here. We'll see what else. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, it's definitely this purpley pink sort of look to it. And it looks like there might be a little bit of a coppery finish to it on the side again. But this one isn't quite as in your face. Maybe it settled a little bit as I was doing the swatches, but you can definitely see it in the writing as well. It's another sort of periwinkle color, I'd say. There's a bit of a purple blue tone to it. We're up to day 15, which is Walnut. As soon as I saw this one, I was like, is this going to be the other scented one? And it's not. It's just a standard, because I was like, that'd be an interesting one. I don't really think of walnuts having a strong scent to it. So this is not the other scented one. This is just a regular, looks like it's going to be a brown color to it. And that's what this one looks like. It is dark. It's hard to tell what is almost sheen and what's the ink, but you can definitely see when it's not too heavy of a swatch. It's this deep brown color, but you definitely see this dark greenish blackish sheen to it as well. So yeah, you can definitely see some of the weird things, the different colorations depending on how heavy of a swatch is going down. So yeah, I think this is a really interesting one as well. Day 16. We have Merry and Bright, which sounds delightful, right? And this one is a shimmer. And this looks like it's going to be another gold shimmer, as far as I can tell. But it could be a mix. You never know. Let's see here. This is a very pretty green. It's a nice grassy sort of Kelly green color. And the shimmer, yeah, it looks like it could be a mix of silver and gold. I definitely see some of the gold, but it doesn't seem complete. Don't mind, I just blew off a little bit of nose hair there. Please don't mind the cat fur. But yeah, I think it's a mix of a couple different ones, because it's a little more diffuse than just one color. But this is a very pretty saturated green color. I like it. Up next, day 17, we have Lavender Frost, which is another shimmer. And this one looks purpley and also silver, obviously. And here we go. This is a very dusty, they say lavender. It's lavender lilac-y sort of color and has nice shading in here. And this looks like there might be a little bit of a purple and also silver shimmer throughout here. Lots of shimmer in there. You can definitely see it in the writing as well. And I don't think it's too light or anything, but yeah, very nice. Day 18, we have Blizzard, which I hope there's not a blizzard. on Christmas, but if there's going to be any snow, on Christmas is when I'm going to want it. And this is another shimmer. I think this is a third shimmer in a row. And this sort of looks like a bluish silver as well. And here we got Blizzard, which is day 18 again. And this is, yeah, sort of blue and silver shimmer here. And a nice sort of, I don't know, I would say a dusty blue jean sort of color, but with more green to it. I know that was a very terrible description by me, but it's definitely a dusty blue color that I enjoy. Maybe like a minty, a little bit of green. Day 19, we have Cinnabon. And as you can imagine, this is another one that you can imagine as being scented. Now, I do love the smell of cinnamon buns and cinnamon scented candles and things. So you'll have to like that to like this one. So let me smell it again after I have not been smelling things today. And this one you definitely smell the cinnamon. And it's a bit stronger, I would say, than the other one, which was Sweet Dreams, Sweet Something. That one was less. So this one is a bit stronger. Again, I like cinnamon. And let me smell the paper here to see if you can smell it after it's dried. So this is what it looks like on the page. You can see it's really wet. Like I said, the scented ones really came and put down a lot of ink for these. And I'm not sure, again, if it's just the ink itself, but I honestly don't smell it much on the paper. So, I mean, if you have a stronger nose than me, you might be able to smell it, but it's really pretty much dissipated. And you can see you get some light parts, less in the swatch. You don't really see too much shading, just a little bit, but I don't really smell it too much, more so in the bottle. I don't have it in a pen to know what it's going to smell like, you know, in your pen as you're writing, but just beware that this is a scented one, and if you don't like cinnamon, you may not enjoy this one, unfortunately. Day 20, only 5 more days, everyone. We have Astral, which looks like it's going to be a deep one. You can definitely see some shimmer through there already. And this is a chameleon. And it looks like we have some gold and maybe some blue? I don't know. Let's see here. It's hard to tell. Wow. That is a lot of shimmer. So it looks like it's a blue shimmer and gold. Those are the two colors I really see in here. It's hard to tell the base color. I don't know if you want to say it's black, but it's definitely deep. And there's lots of shimmer in here, the chameleon. But yeah, I want to say it's probably black, but yeah, you're not really seeing any sort of shading, and it looks like there might be a little bit of sheen in certain spots as well. So it's very deep. Okay, day 21 is Tranquility, which is another chameleon. This looks like it's going to have some purple and some gold shimmer here. And this is a very, very nice color. I say this is a sort of a fuchsia or a magenta. It's definitely more of a violet purple with, let's see what colors. It looks like it's a greenish and gold shimmer here. But yeah, this one really stands out. I really like this color. There's a little bit of sheen on the side, but really not too much. Day 22, we have Tinsel, another holiday sort of themed one. And this is a shimmer. And it looks like it's maybe has more of a copper. It looks like it's a copper shimmer. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. It does look like more of a coppery sort. It sort of sits within it a little bit more, but yeah, it's definitely a copper one. Very nice red, very saturated. Tiny bit of sheen on the outside. Looks a little bit gold on the sheen. Yeah, I really like this color combination. Very nicely saturated. And day 23, we have Fireside Snug. And another red one, like two reddish ones in a row here. But this one's a standard and not a shimmer. And this is what this one looks like. This one's definitely more of an orangey tone or brownish orange red than it is going to be for tinsel the day before. You can definitely tell that this one is definitely more of a blue red and this is more of an orangey red. And you do get a little bit of a shading in here, a little bit of a sheen on the outside, but really not much. Not really tell that too much. Day 24, Christmas Eve. If you celebrate Christmas, this is going to be Sugar Snap. And when I always think of Sugar Snap, I think of Sugar Snap Peas. And this one is a shimmer. And looks like this one is going to be a goldish, silverish one, it looks like, potentially. And here we go. This is a very nice yellow toned green. It's a medium, very plant-like green, and it looks like the shimmer is actually more of a blue shimmer, bluish silver. I really think that's an interesting combo with the very cool tones of the shimmer with a very yellow toned green there. I really like that combo. And we're on to Christmas Day. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? Raise a glass. Now, unfortunately, they never actually tell you what kind of one it is. Like, it's not going to say shimmer or chameleon on the side. It just has your normal 30 mils on it. So let's see what we actually got here. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I want to say most years it seems to be more of a New Year's theme, like raise a glass, things like that. And also often purple? Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But this one it looks to be a chameleon with sheen. If you notice the theming for this year, there doesn't seem to be that many sheens. A few have a very tiny amount on the edges, but that's not what they're focusing on this year. This is definitely more of a shimmer chameleon look, little bit of the multi-chrome ones in there, or multi-shift in there, more than any sheen. So this one definitely has some of this greenish, goldish sheen to it. Not too crazy. You do still see some of the base color in here as well, which is a nice deep purple color, like a nice deep violet. And the chameleon looks to be bluish green gold, I'd say. But yeah, very nice to have a color like this in 30 mils. But yeah, here's a few of them sitting here. And I do want to mention, I did a little bit of a tally on these. And it seems to be this year, I have that there's about 7 standard colors, 6 just shimmer, 2 of the scented ones, 9 chameleons, so a lot of chameleons, and that 1 new Star Bright color to get you to 25. Just a quick little, recap of the type of colors. Again, some of them had to, some of them were a little complex to say one certain color, but I did my best. We have 1 gold, that 1 taupe, 4 reddish, 7 blue, 1 orange, 3 green, 5 purplish or bluish. I guess it's sort of, those sometimes overlapped a little bit. 2 brown, and that astral one, which is what I called black. So nice color distribution for the year. There's not too many. You think it's a holiday one, it's going to be mostly reds and greens. It's really not that way. There are more blues, but that's not surprising. There are always lots of blue inks out there. But I just want to give you that little overview of the colors that I saw during the unboxing and swatching of all these. And thank you for taking your time to watch this video. I hope it helped you figure out whether or not you're going to purchase this. And I hope you watch it and forget about it, and then do your day by day unboxing when December 1st comes. So that's all I have for you today. And thank you again for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, as they always say in the YouTubes. And have a great holiday season. And we'll talk to you next time. Peace out. All done.
How'd it go?
I mean, I'll see.